Hi, this is Penn. Penn Jillette, Penn and Teller. Big guy does magic, smaller guy next to me. He does magic too. He doesn't talk that much. I want to talk about Joseph Jaffe is not famous. And Joseph Jaffe is not famous. Joseph Jaffe is wicked not famous. Joseph Jaffe is superlatively not famous, and for good and sufficient reason. I mean, maybe his guests are famous. Maybe his guests are famous. He gets some famous people on his guests, but Joseph Jaffe himself is not famous. That's the important part. You can have famous guests and still not be famous. And if you want an example of that, well, Joseph Jaffe would be a really good example. Teller would do a better job at a talk show, and Teller doesn't talk, which you'd think would be one of the major qualification of being on a talk show and not being famous. What's that, Teller? Oh, yeah. Teller says, Joseph Jaffe, not famous. Love you. Peace.
When it comes to chicken, I'm your guy.
Blinking.
I'll have what Joseph has.
Look, somebody's talking about you.
This is what we call the voice of God.
Popping.
Everybody just gets to focus on you.
Grab me.
Probably not the best thing for an introvert.
I'm asking for you.
Well, I like a good chicken sandwich.
Touch me. Hi, David. Comment.
Oh my God.
Like.
You're actually an identical twin.
Push.
Maybe I'll just ask Julie to talk about what it is to be
No.
an identical twin.
Pick me up.
No, you didn't.
Shouting.
Surprise! Jeremiah, just hang on a second. I just got a text.
There's an edit for your new opening, Joseph.
I feel really honored to have been here, man.
By the way, you've done a masterful job. Seriously.
And it was such a joy.
Thanks, Joseph. It's an honor.
Good on you. This was a pleasure.
I mean, you are the prime example of how to pivot in this new environment.
I wish everybody gets an opportunity to interact with Joseph Jaffe.
Who needs Cameo when I've got my own personal Cameo? Well, happy Friday, everybody. It is March 4th. It is Friday. It is 1 p.m. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But seriously, it is time for another episode of Joseph Jaffe is not famous. And why would I be famous when it's NFT Fridays and I get an opportunity to have the dynamic duo on the show, father and daughter super team, Dave and Valerie, the founders, the creators, the brains, the heart, the soul behind Girlies NFT. I have to tell you, I'm just super excited to do these NFT Fridays and specifically to meet the founders and understand their origin stories, get to know them, and really see the humanity behind the technology. So they'll be coming onto the show shortly, and a little sneak peek. It's funny, we're going from renderings of young girls. Next week, next Friday, we'll have the non-fungible people. I guess I'm a non-fungible person, aren't I? There's only one of me. Thank God. I mean, if there were two of me and I was cloned, I would be fungible, and I don't think the world would be able to cope. So non-fungible people will be in the studio next week. Looking forward to that. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time on the Jaffe coin. And, today we welcome the entire community from Girlies NFT. For those of you that are new to this show, it's a show where we like to celebrate hope, positivity, and optimism. And if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing, but it's also a time when I like to give away my creator coin. I have my own cryptocurrency, and when you see a QR code auto-magically appear like right now, all you have to do is shine your smartphone on that QR code, follow the instructions, and you will get a small piece of my Jaffe coin. I do this every single day. You do not need to buy anything. You do not need to send it anywhere. You just need to hodl that coin and watch it grow as the community grows, as the Jaffe economy grows. This is the trajectory of my coin at the moment, sitting under $10. But really, that's not the graph that you need to look at. The graph that you need to look at is this one. This is the rally token Now, the Jaffe token or the Jaffe coin is bonded to itself. It's bonded to Ethereum. It's bonded to the Rally token. And what you will notice is a constant increase and a constant rise. That's what that's almost like this idea of adjusting for inflation. And the point is that the coin grows because the economy grows, and the economy grows because the community grows. And that's why I want to continue to give away a coin. Now, normally the QR code is only live for as long as the show is live, but because we are welcoming an entire new community, the entire burgeoning, engaged, active, and awesome community of Girlies NFT, this QR code will be live all the way through to next Friday's show. So you have time to follow the instructions and to be able to claim your coin. So now we get to something, again, if you're new to the show, that I call the seated soliloquy, because I'm seated and this is a soliloquy. It's a monologue. It's not very complex here in a not famous land. Today, the soliloquy is called Connection, and it's always inspired by my guests, and with very, very good reason, because today we're talking about the connection between a parent and a child. I think there are many stories behind the story. I mean, we could be talking about a successful NFT collection, a 10,000 PFP collection that minted out, which this one did. But this story is really about a father and his daughter, a daughter and her father. It is about connection. And, you know, people say that with all this technology and all this social media, we've never been as connected as before, and yet we've never felt so alone. We've never felt so isolated. And I don't think it has to be that way. I remember when I created my first NFT, and, you know, my kids just laughed at me. I mean, what was I doing? Who would even buy one of my NFTs? And I remember when I created my first TikTok, this time they weren't laughing at me. There was a look of dread and fear and disgust and shame. And they said, "Dad, get off TikTok. You don't belong on TikTok." And I said, "I'll have you know that I was on Snapchat about 3 years before you. This is my business. This is what I've written books on. This is what I report on." I don't think parents have to play roles. I don't think parents have to play the role of old fogey. I don't think parents have to play the role of saying, we can't play in this space because we're too old. We've aged out. We're out of touch. And by the same token, I don't believe that our kids should be on the sidelines either. What if those two forces came together? What if a father's knowledge for technology and a daughter's passion and purpose for art and creativity could come together to form a business relationship? What if we could teach entrepreneurship to our kids? What if they could teach entrepreneurship to us? The possibilities are really endless. And in a time, in this global pandemic, in a time where we were all stuck at home, trying to figure out what masterclass to learn, what language, what cooking class to do, if we did that at all, because most of us just really spend time lounging on the sofa watching Netflix. What if we could launch an NFT collection? And what if we could rewrite the rules and change the rules in terms of what was possible, in terms of what was allowed, in terms of what was embraced? This is a case study. This is a use case, and this is a light that shines the way forward for other parents, for other kids, for other relationships looking for a reason to connect. And that, my friends, is the soliloquy. We see a couple of commenters. We have a few people watching. Steve Jordan said, same. What did you buy for $100? I'm not even sure. What did I even mention for $100? Oh, but then he says, is what my daughters said. I get it. Now they're semi-pro NFTers. Nice reveal there. Exactly. $100. I wish that I was buying NFTs for $100. I've spent a lot more on NFTs and I've seen them go to zero. But I'll tell you one collection that has not gone to zero and will not go to zero is Girlies NFT. And now you're about to meet David and Valeria, Dave and Valerie, as I call them. Let me tell you a little bit about them. David and Valeria are a father-daughter team. Valeria is the creator and artist behind the Girlies. She was 14 when she illustrated the Girlies last year. She turned 15 2 weeks ago. Can you believe that? A whole 15. David, on the other hand, is a Web 2 full stack developer. I don't even think I've developed one item on a stack, and learned enough about Solidity and blockchain to be able to handle all the tech aspects of this project. So, like all good partnerships, what happens when two sides come together to form a whole? Let's welcome them to the show. I told them that there'd be some surprises. So should we undox them for a moment and say, welcome to the show? Which one is Dave and which one is Valerie?
Hey, Joe, thank you for having us. I guess I'll be the one on the right of the screen.
No, you don't need to worry about that at all because there you are. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, okay, Valerie, this is your first time on camera. And let me tell you something, you already are at an advantage because with me, they tell me that I have a face for radio. So you do not have a face for radio. You have a face for television, for magazines, for billboards, for the red carpet. I'm really, really humbled to have you and your dad in the studio. So I hope you have fun today, and I hope you enjoy this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe.
You're very welcome. So, as I said, we have a few people that are maybe watching. The beautiful part of this is that when people are watching, they can comment, just like in Discord, and really have a conversation with them. And so if people are here from time to time, we will let them comment and we will respond to them. And we know a couple of people are watching today. So you guys are guest number 340 since I started the show. So that, Valerie, that's one thing. The first time you do it, you're rusty, you make mistakes. You don't want to ever go back and look at the first episode because it's so cringy, as my kids often say. Generally, they refer to me as that every single day. But I actually do that. I go back and I watch the first episode all the time because it shows me how much I've grown. And after 340, you become a lot more relaxed. So I want you to ping me when you're doing your 340th interview, and love to see how well you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So I have to say that I have a little bit of a beef with you guys to start off with, because this beautiful young lady has been very kindly offered by the two of you to give away to give away to someone who watches the show and who follows these instructions at the bottom. We'll make sure that they're in the show notes, that they're in our Discords. But essentially, by just following a couple of steps, they're going to end up being able to win her. And I'm upset because I want to win her because she is fantastic. What did you say?
She's gorgeous, isn't it?
She is gorgeous. I am upset because not only am I not going to win her, but one of the things that I do here is I actually pay for my NFTs. And so the first little surprise is that right now, live, I am going to do something that I call sweep the floor. Can you hear the echo? So I'm about to buy one of your NFTs off the floor live on air, which means I even hope I've got enough liquidity, because if gas is high, it's not going to work. So are you ready for me to buy?
We're ready.
Let's go.
All right, so let's just refresh and see what the floor is. It was 0.109. It is still 0.109. And by the way, I love her. She's is she a bit of a zombie or a?
Yeah.
I wish that I could buy her, but it looks like if I'm buying on the floor, my options are, unless I go a little bit higher. Well, to be true, I'm about to buy Girlie number 6458. So let's do it. Before I do,
it's very cute.
Before I buy her, can you tell me a little bit about her?
Oh, so she has some nice blue hair, braided.
We don't see it anymore.
She has little star earrings. I think I see like a moon thing here in the middle of her eyebrows, and she's kind of like goth, you know.
All right, so I'm gonna buy goth then. Let's hit the buy button, and I hope I've got enough gas. I always try to put a little bit extra in. So gas is about $53. I'm hitting confirm, and all things being equal, we will see if it processes. There we go.
All right.
I'm now the proud owner of another Girlie. I have two now.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh no, thank you. As I said to you, there are a lot of surprises on the show, and of course, I'm going to put my name in for the drawing. By the way, okay. Nobody said I shouldn't be eligible to win.
You make the rules, Joe.
Exactly. Well, if people are wondering what they need to do, they need to, if they subscribe to this show on YouTube and then they post their or paste their YouTube username in my show's Discord, join the Girlies NFT Discord and follow both myself, Jaffe Juice, and Girlies NFT on Twitter. We will do the drawing live on next week's NFT Friday show with non-fungible people. And I hope I win. I mean, I hope you win. So we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. Now, before we get into your story, it's March 4th, so it is what's known as Courageous Followers Day. And Dave, let me start with you. How do you interpret this idea of a courageous follower? What is a courageous follower? I know what a leader is. By definition, I think being a leader is courageous. What does it mean to be a courageous follower?
Well, I guess a follower can also be a little bit of a leader, right? And is someone who, if we're talking about NFTs, well, is someone who really supports you, I guess, regardless of what the floor price is, and who's there because of what you're doing, maybe because they like the art or the causes that you are supporting. So that's probably a courageous follower. Yeah.
Oh, I really love that idea that you're following the lead or the leader, but also you are a leader to the person that follows you as well. Yeah. And in this case, this idea of following a project through its roadmap and to it may never conclude. We hope it never concludes. Is courage, right? Courage and faith to ignore the flaw and just focus on, quite frankly, the sky, right? The sky is the limit.
We have a lot of those in our Discord and in our community, thankfully.
But by the way, Steve Jordan, who is watching, he said, "Oh my gosh, they're beautiful." So I think that is the best compliment that you could hope for.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, so I want to hear, and I'm sure people want to hear your story. Let's start off at the beginning, Valerie, because no one wants to see me. Valerie, talk about what I would call your life before NFTs, BNFT. I mean, we're going back to what, like 1965. Okay, so you're 14 years old, right? But actually, let's go back even further. Let's go back to 10 and 11, and the spark, the genesis of what became Girlies NFT. Tell us that story.
So really, I was pretty normal. I mean, I would just do like, I'd go to school, come home, I'd play games, and then like I'd draw for a bit, like I'd practice and stuff. I wasn't really doing anything crazy, just normal stuff.
So everyone's trying to like unpack and dissect your brain, and what it turns out is that in fact you're just normal. Or maybe you're a little super normal as well, but you love to draw. And one of the things that I saw was this your first, I think, renderings, and I think you did this when you were like 11 or 12. Is that correct?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
They are amazing. And have you done anything with them? Will they be? Are they NFTs? Will they become NFTs?
Well, we were thinking about like maybe doing something with them. We're not sure yet, though.
I think they are absolutely amazing. And they seem like they are true one of ones as well.
Thank you.
I like them a lot myself. I think that when I see, I don't have them here. I typically have them somewhere close by, but I love them. I mean, I like them as much as the girlies. I mean, they're so pretty. They were made with markers, and I remember seeing her draw this, and it was really cute then. It's just, I mean, I really like them. They're beautiful.
I really, really do hope that you do something with them, because they are, in my opinion, up there with Meta Angels, with all of these new collections that we're seeing right now. They truly are originals, and they're quite exquisite. So don't forget the little people if you ever do anything with them. Remember your first video interview, but they really are tremendous. So let's move a little bit along, which is you're drawing. You're a normal kid. You go to school. What was the first semblance of this Web3 NFT world for either of you? What was the moment when that genesis came to be, which is, what if we made this into a collection?
Well, my dad is the one who brought it up first to me. Like, he like told me about like an article or something, like, and we were talking about it, but we didn't really do anything until like October and stuff. That's when like we really started to look into it and like start working on it.
So I found out about NFTs. Yeah, I read articles about them like a while back. I think it was like March or April. And there were a few kids, like really young kids, like a 12-year-old kid was doing NFTs. I don't know if they were Minecraft NFTs or like little whales. I don't remember what it was. But I mentioned, to her that, hey, these kids are doing this. Maybe that since she loves drawing, maybe she could do something like that. But we talked about it, but then we forgot. I mean, we went on with our lives. Like I had a business, I still do, but we're busy, at least myself and my wife, really busy, and she's in school and doing all the things a normal teen does, and we forgot about it. Then back in October, Valeria and I, we traveled to visit my mom abroad, and when we came back, we spent a couple of weeks together. When we came back, Valeria decided that that she wanted to work on it, and we had read some articles about, I think at the time it was like World Women. They were doing some really cool things, and just how how unbalanced the space was for women. Like I remember it was something like 5% of all sales were from NFTs created by women. So I thought, and we actually thought, that it could be a good idea for for us to try it out and see what could happen.
It's funny because maybe a year ago on the show, I had, I think it was Pauline Brown, who's the ex-chairwoman of LVMH, of Louis Vuitton. And I think she gave this statistic, which I haven't deleted. I haven't taken it away from my dashboard, that the rate of women leading companies on the S&P 500 at the time was just 6.4%. So you can see those numbers are almost mirroring. But of course, we know that women make up more than 50% of the population. I want to just segue very, very briefly to two questions. But the first is, it almost seems now, and this was an article written by my friend Gary Henderson. And by the way, congratulations, because I think what I'll do is I'll give you the air horn. But he actually wrote this piece called 11 Women-Led NFTs Shaping the Industry. Let's go down. We've got World of Women, Boss Beauties, Women Rise, Women in Weapons, Alpha Girls Club, Rebel Society, The Flower Girls. Hey, wait a second. I know that collection. Girlies there, number 8, which is just incredible to see yourselves up there. I guess my question for you is, do you think maybe that the market has become a little bit saturated with respect to women-run, women-led projects, so much so that everyone's rushing to them without even thinking? Or is your position the exact opposite, which is bring them on, times 10, times 100, times 1,000. Let's expand that list to 110, to 1,111.
That's tough to answer. I think the space in general seems to be, there are a lot of rush projects, right? Like we just saw it with Pixelmon, and I don't think it looks good. So I don't know. And as far as women, I mean, clearly there's a lot of room for more projects, more meaningful projects for women. Clearly it's still very, very unbalanced. Maybe, I mean, what I will hope is for the general quality, and I don't mean just by the art, right? I mean the general quality of the project itself to be a little bit higher. But yeah, I mean, clearly there's a lot of people that are coming into the space. I mean, we ourselves, we launched in January 17th. So we're very, very new. I mean, we're basically, I think we minted out about a month ago. So yeah, I mean, we can't really say, oh, all these people are coming in, we're one of them. So I don't know. I think the space is going to change. I think it's for the better. We might see a little bit of a drop maybe for a little bit, but then I think the space is going to recover, and not only just recover, it's going to get a lot stronger. And we are seeing it with, for example, the Boss Beauties. Like the Boss Beauties are doing incredible things. And that is the type of roadmaps, or like the type of projects that we will personally like to see, that we want to be a part of. The type of projects that we try to emulate in our small way. So I wish we could see more of that. And I see the women projects, at least from what I've seen, they have more meaningful roadmaps. And I mean, if there's more of them, then the more the better, definitely.
Yeah, the rising tide floats all boats.
Yeah.
Before we get back to the actual project at hand, I want to go back to this idea of you guys actually putting out an NFT collection. What the hell were you thinking? I still want to know the spark of how a father and his daughter decide to put out an NFT collection, thinking about things like smart contracts and FUD and Discord servers. And that to me is is 50% of the story, which is, it's fine to have an idea. You could have put out a coloring in book. What made you so brave and courageous and maybe foolish to think that you could put out a collection that one day could rival the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
Imagine that. I think foolish. We really had no idea, and we had no expectations. In fact, I think we created the Discord server 4 or 5 days after we launched the project. So, from my part, I really had not really looked into the space to see how projects were supposed to be ran. Initially I thought, okay, my daughter's an artist. Let's put her work out there, and if we can do something meaningful for the community, if we can help women inside and outside of the space, well, that's amazing. But we didn't plan to sell out. We didn't expect any of this, any of the success we had so far. And I think there's a lot of room for us to grow. So yeah, it was really unexpected, and it took us by surprise.
So Valerie, one of the things that I always will try and ask is what makes the project unique, and there's a lot to be said. You've written, I'll just read this very quickly. Women are underrepresented in the NFT, crypto, and technology spaces. We believe this needs to change. By supporting our project as well as other women-led NFTs, you will help empower women and bring much needed balance to the NFT space. Now, I know that this is something that you care a lot about. This absolutely came from you, but there's also that incredible, like almost audacity. How can a 14-year-old take on these monumental challenges, which the world is struggling to overcome? It's such a beautiful, beautiful story as well. So I wonder if you could talk to this calling, or this need, this unmet need that you identified and then decided to solve, or do your part to solve.
To you, like basically, the fact that the space is so unbalanced, but not just the space, everything.
Yeah, what was your vision?
So kind of like how we said there, that I don't really know.
I don't think she really understood the question so much, but basically, how do you see yourself, helping in the space, right?
Right.
Because,
how
unbalanced.
Okay.
The space is unbalanced.
So basically, by I guess just supporting other women and have a fun and everything, doing stuff like that for them. I know that when we started, I would have wanted, support from bigger people. So I think that's a good way to help them.
Terrific. I mean, at the end of the day, now you can help others who are maybe going down the same path. Did anyone help you personally besides your dad? Was there anyone that you could turn to guide you down the path? Were there any role models or people on Twitter or in the space that gave you advice, or that you could get advice from?
Well, I could definitely get advice from bigger collections. We would always see we would scroll down their Twitter and see how they started and stuff, and we'd get ideas from that.
All right. Well, I will hear some advice maybe from someone else who you may know in the space. Our Friday correspondent is Brian Fanzo, iSocial Fans, who has the very popular NFT 365 podcast. And here is his segment for today. And listen very carefully, because there is, you may recognize that he's talking about someone in particular.
What's up, friends? And, for today's kind of conversation around NFTs, crypto, metaverse, creator coins, I think for me, the bigger conversation has to be around the creator economy. And really, what does this creator economy actually mean? And the challenge I put out there for all of those in this kind of space is that where today do we have the opportunity to truly create a community where the rising tide lifts all ships or all boats, whatever you may have it? And I think for so many in the digital world, that doesn't exist, right? You follow a YouTuber and the YouTuber gains in subscribers, yet those that were early supporters and watch every YouTube video don't benefit from that creator's success. And really what NFTs unlock is that shared value, that exchange of ownership, where when a founders, launch an NFT project, only at the launch do they control or have a say in what the value of the project is. After that, each individual owner is then the one that determines, what's the floor price and what is the overall value of the NFT. And to me, this idea of creating a creator economy combined with great stories and great people and really unlocking an opportunity for us to find our people in ways that we never have before is what makes true NFT utility and NFT value beyond just the price, the dollars and the cents. Now, there's bull markets and the bear markets. And, right now we are kind of dealing with, the ups and downs along with what's going on in the world today. But I think the beauty of this, if we take a step back, is we're actually starting to create movements and opportunities for people to discover their people, for people to extend their conversations and really extend that ability to rise together by simply, you don't have to launch your own project. Maybe you're 15 years old, or maybe you're much older. It's not about, to participate in this community. You don't have to launch something yourself. You can simply become the owner within another creator economy. And by owning a piece of that creator economy, you have a say in the future, the value, and even beyond that. So hope that helps. Brian Fanzo from the podcast NFT 365. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.
I think you saw the or heard the connection to you. He knew obviously that you were coming on the show. But of course, you could start your own collection too, and then you get the applause coming for you as well. So Valerie, let's go a little bit further, and Dave, let's go a little bit further and talk about you launch this project. You don't even have a Discord. You're at the time, January 17th feels like it was 10 years ago in the NFT space. There was a lot less FUD. There was a lot less noise. There was a lot less clutter. Tell us a little bit about the launch. How did it go? Was it smooth? Were there any hiccups?
Well, it wasn't smooth, no. We also had 0 followers on Twitter. So we really had nothing. We had no preparation. We had, there was absolutely no community. So that day, I still remember when we launched, we didn't know what to expect. I thought, because I come from Web 2.0, that, okay, the space is crowded. Let's put up a couple ads, right? That's what I thought, because I come from corporate world, and that's how you get the word out. That didn't work. Like immediately, our ad accounts were shut down because just Twitter doesn't allow ads for NFTs, and that was a shock. I was like, what do we do now? I thought I actually felt scared, because I saw my daughter just spend, a couple months making these drawings, working really, really hard, and all of a sudden we might not get a single sale, So those were my fears. I didn't want to transmit that to her, but I definitely felt, scared. And in fact, we didn't have a single mint for 2 or 3 days. When someone who's our very first supporter, and she is a part of our Discord, she minted 2 girlies, and I was super excited. I went, and I sent her a DM. I'm like, wow, you just lift me, because I was just feeling really down. I'm like, this is not gonna work. What I'm gonna tell my daughter, and that's how it started. And little by little, we started seeing people, respond to the tweets. And mint the girlies, say how much they like the girlies. Valeria was getting really excited about it. But yeah, it wasn't easy at all. It was the first 10 days were really a roller coaster of emotions. It was pretty tough.
This I think it was a woman, your first customer. Was she a stranger to you, or was she someone?
Yeah.
Do you remember how she found you?
Well, yeah, she probably. I guess I was using some tags, and she just saw the art, and she just went and mint it. I think she read about us. She went to our website, she read the story, and she's like, I really like the story. Let's mint a couple of girlies.
Wow. And so, Valerie, you're probably going to school and telling your friends, hey, my NFT collection just dropped. And they're probably looking at you like, who are you and what have you done with Valerie? Have you been, is this Invasion of the Body Snatchers? What is an NFT? So did you get any sales from school, from your friends?
I didn't tell any of my friends.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so your friends don't know. You know, this is the anti-word of mouth success story. I mean, so how do you go from one obscure woman minting two girlies, a little bit of positive feedback, to minting out?
Well, I don't know. It was just crazy. We don't even know how it happened, really. You know, but that's the power of this space. It's something else. I guess I joined a couple Twitter spaces, although I didn't speak in any of them. I was just trying to learn about the space, and you could right away you could tell that people are very supportive. Most people are very, very supportive. There was some thought. Some people were saying a few things. Like I remember a comment that was pretty hurtful. They said, "Oh, you know, something like cute story, but who's the father? Is he real?" or something like that. So there were a few, mean comments. But for the most part, people are super supportive, and I guess the word just spread out, and that's how we did it.
There's a lot of I don't know whether the right word is snarkiness or jealousy or insecurity. It's probably no different to how, unfortunately, it can be at school as well, right, Valerie? With I suppose the concept of mean girls. Here's a mean tweet from Amir Hussein. This was today, and that said, name one upcoming NFT project that is actually bringing life-changing value to their holders. I'll wait. Well, maybe we should tell him not to wait. I actually tweeted him. I said, you should come and watch the show. Valerie, would you say that Girlies NFT has been, maybe not to every one of the holders, but can you see this project changing lives of people that are in the Discord, that are holders, even yourself?
Hopefully, yeah. I think I can see it. The floor price now going a little higher, and then people selling for higher. I feel like that's pretty life changing.
Well, there was a comment in Discord that was really nice. I mean, I remember someone had minted, and I guess they mint. I don't remember exactly what they minted. It had to have been a very rare girly, and they probably sold it for like 8,000 or something like that. And the guy posted in Discord, and he said, "This 14-year-old girl just paid 2 or 3 months of my rent."
Wow,
that was pretty incredible. So that felt very good. Yeah.
So that's changing lives, certainly financially. But there's also this mission, the fact that an NFT can be more than just art, and how you're donating money to causes. You're changing lives even indirectly, right, via the project.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a core mission. I mean, although we didn't have any expectations of us selling out, but I mean, I always knew there was a tiny chance of that happening, right? And that's why we laid out the roadmap that we did. We wanted to be meaningful. We wanted to give back, right? And we still do. And our roadmap is going to grow into more meaningful things. So yeah, we did donate 30,000 plus to the Malala Fund. Valeria's first one-of-one NFT. We donated about $3,000 to the Girls Who Code Foundation.
It's incredible.
And we are also doing right now, actually. Valeria's second one-of-one, we are going to donate 100% of the proceeds to Women for Women International. It's a nonprofit that they help women basically rebuild their lives after wars. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to be, as meaningful as possible. Besides that, we have 2 separate NFT art funds. We have, I think it's 10 Ethereum for collecting women NFTs. we're trying to basically help women artists who are not really selling a lot of NFTs, who have really beautiful art, but they're having a hard time, getting the exposure that they deserve. So what we do is we collect one of their NFTs and we tweet about them, right? And what I've seen is that after we do that, in a few cases they end up selling everything out. So I think that's way more powerful than us buying one NFT. I think it's exposure, and we would love to see more projects do something like that. We're also doing the same thing for children NFTs, although it's been a little bit slower because it's kind of hard to find those. And right now the team is just Valeria and I, so we are a bit short-staffed when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, the idea is to be meaningful, and to help others.
You're doing so much, and I don't even mean activities. I mean the amount of money, the number of donations. There are projects that are 100x larger with all these resources that are doing absolutely nothing, that are counting the money. So it seems, Valerie, that you really are the quintessential meta angel. And it's appropriate because this is the quote that I found for you today. What can you do to promote world peace? Go home and love your family. And this was said by Mother Teresa. So maybe, Valerie, you're the modern day Mother Teresa. But I also thought it would be appropriate to have a quote from a mother when we're, talking about, in this case, a father. And that's what I want to spend the next part of this conversation over, which is a father bonding with his daughter. The relationship. I have a daughter. She's studying abroad right now. This touched me in so many ways in terms of seeing this. That's why I dedicated my soliloquy to both of you. What can you talk about your relationship throughout this process? Have you become closer? Have you had any fights or arguments coming through this? How has the relationship evolved through this business partnership?
Go.
So definitely our relationship has gotten closer since this. Since we work together now, I see him more often. And we definitely had a lot of fights, but they were resolved pretty quickly. It wasn't nothing crazy, but mostly it's been good working with my dad.
It's been wonderful, Joe. I mean, before the project, I have my own business. I consult for a few clients. I also help my wife with her business, and we lived very busy, lives. And Valeria, she does school, and she will go to her room and maybe play video games, draw, do her homework. There was very little connection. Unfortunately, I'm sure that happens a lot in families these days. And after the project for us, I mean, our relationship changed a lot, for the better. In fact, this is our little home office, and she draws here now. Like the last couple of NFTs that she did, she comes and she draws them with me here. I have a little chair there, and she sits there and she draws the NFTs, and I love that. I love being a part of that. I love being able to get the early peek on what she's doing. That's very exciting for me. I'm a huge fan of her. So I mean, I love seeing that, and this has changed everything for us. As far as our bonding and connection, it's been amazing. I think our project can also change other parents, and I kind of see that in Discord. I have a lot of girl dads that they tell me that they buy the girlies for their daughters, and I love that. I also see parents that they post pictures of their kids waking up early in the morning to draw a girly, their version of the girly. I think that's beautiful. I think that's powerful. So I think NFTs, our project, but other projects as well, can be a lot more than just, you know, that piece of art or that thing that you're going to flip, like, you know, as if you think of it as a stock. I think it could be a lot more than that. Hopefully we see more of that.
It's a great response. And, you know, one of the things that I've learned is you know, as Fanzo calls it, we need to stop flip shaming people, because when you find someone who actually ends up paying for 2 or 3 months worth of rent through one of your NFTs, isn't that the greatest gift that you could give someone else? And I have to say, you know, as you, Valerie, as you get better and better at this, you know, you're gonna spot softballs like this a mile away. This was a big softball for you, which is you are changing lives. You're changing lives, because I can tell you definitively, it's not an opinion, it's a fact, that every single parent out there, every single father out there, every daughter out there looks to you, whether you like it or not, as a leader. So maybe I'll be the courageous follower to your leadership, because we want that connection. We crave that connection. And, you know, I saw a comment from Steve, who said anything that brings family together is a good thing, whether it's an NFT project or Scrabble, or these days probably Wordle. But you are changing lives. So are you open for a little bit of advice in terms of how you did today in your first interview?
Yes.
All right. So you're doing great. That's the bottom line. I am a teacher. I'm an adjunct professor right now, and right now I'm giving you a solid A. We'll give you an A minus, and because, you know, I don't want it to go straight to your head. But I'll give you a little bit of advice about interviews. First of all, as much as you may cringe, go back and watch yourself. The most important thing you can ever do when you learn how to speak and you're on stage is watch yourself back and learn from yourself, because you are the best test subject imaginable. The other thing is always look at all the questions that I asked and write them down, and keep on adding and adding and adding. And every time that someone interviews you, they'll probably ask you a question that you never thought of before, but you'll write it down, and you will just, and not to get rote and too robotic about it, but you'll just get better and better. So no questions will ever surprise you. And more importantly, you'll be able to say, you'll go away and you'll go, oh, I wish I'd mentioned this. And so you'll write that down. And so, like a playbook, you'll just get more and more comfortable with the content, because that's all it is. It's content, and there'll be friendly interviewers, and there'll be some people that are a little less friendly. But above all, the most important thing is always just to be yourself, because, you know, when you try and be someone else, people will see you coming a mile. And I can see, my takeaway from you is that you just are who you are. You're quiet, and but you have a quiet confidence. You're very talented, and I really hope that you continue doing what you're doing, because you and your dad, Dave, this is, to me, just an amazing story.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we have a few moments left, and we will enough of the gushy. I want to kind of just we were kind of going through some of these questions, and I said there's a question called Victory Lap, which is you made it, you won, you sold out for $1 billion. You're getting an award. You're the woman of the year. You're the person of the year. You're getting that Golden Globe. What is the speech? What does the headline say? What are people going to say about you? What will they write? And what was your response to me earlier?
But I have no idea. I mean, I can't even like imagine it, so I wouldn't know what to say.
And I said to you, and then you're like, maybe we shouldn't answer that question, because I literally have no idea. And I said, you know what? That is the perfect answer, because so many people are so in their heads and they're thinking about the exit, they're thinking about the destination, as opposed to just enjoying the ride, enjoying the journey, and living, every moment, as it comes. So perfect answer. What about you, Dave? Because I know you've thought it through.
No, I haven't. Not at all. Honestly, I don't know. I really wish that we can do something big, so, really expand on our roadmap as far as, what we're, doing for others. And hopefully if we can be a role model to other or upcoming collections, hey, let's create a community of projects that are helping those that are having a hard time, getting the exposure that they deserve, and that could be, one-on-one artists, right? I think they have a little bit of a harder time getting exposure when they first begin. So if there was a headline, I don't know what that would be, but we want to be a part of, we want to be there. We want to be one of those that are, an example to others, hopefully we can achieve that.
Well, please remember that as far as those one-on-ones go, that I referred to earlier, there is going to be a very, very healthy market for those one-on-ones. So please don't forget me. Don't forget the little people. No, they're just absolutely gorgeous. I want to make sure that people know where to find you and how to be a part of this collection, because it's available right now, as I have done on OpenSea. I think when I bought my Girlie for the first time, it was a little bit more expensive. I think it was the floor was higher. So I think I got a good deal. In fact, I know I got a good deal. I mean, this is one of the top 11 woman-run, woman-led projects to watch. So please go and check out Girlies NFT. If you want to get to, obviously, the correct OpenSea page, you can do that through the Discord, discord.gg/Girlies NFT. You can find out more at girlies.art, their website. You can follow them on Girlies NFT, and this is the project. It's Dave and Valerie. They're running the thing together. They're running it solo. No doubt the empire is going to grow from here on end. But whatever happens, just continue to be yourselves. Don't ever change. And remember, you are Mother Teresa in the making, Valerie.
Thank you so much, Joe. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. There is nothing left to do except to hear what one of your fans, Chuck Norris, had to say about you.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
There you go. And I will be back on Monday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.